All right, so we have a little surprise for you this week. We had so many emails, which I love.
I know we've been getting a ton of them.
We had so many emails that we gave you a filler episode because we've been recording in advance because we have so much going on that we didn't want to wait with these emails and people be listening, be like, how come they never read my emails? Right. So you're all getting your own episode. We even have a Facebook post, which was one of the best stories I've ever heard.
It was.
So she's getting read too. So Sparkles is going to go first.
Okay. I have one from Nicole.
Not me.
Not her. Although I wouldn't be surprised.
Imagine if I was writing around. I love you, Laura.
Laura.
I love you, girls.
This says, great job, ladies. You keep me laughing. I work in a Massachusetts ED, which is an emergency department. How about covering things patients ingest and/or insert in their rectum? AKA battery-operated machinery. And where is my hairbrush? Like, the what the fuck files from Nicole.
Well, we have covered some of that. I don't know if it's butt stuff. Did we cover butt stuff? Our earlier episodes, we cover many things that have been put up.
Yeah, we could do it again, though.
There's plenty.
We could probably be due for another one.
Because we've had more come in since we've talked about it.
Yeah, so we could. You're right. We should do another. We'll do another one. Yeah. But look back at the old episodes. There are a few that have that stuff in them.
And send in things you found because, it's always fun to hear other people's. I mean, we had a glass poodle at one point. So please tell us what else you have found. Yeah. All right, let's see. Who do I have? I have Alicia. Good morning, Laura and Nicole. I discovered your podcast a few months ago while I was taking the commuter rail into Boston, where I, too, am an OR nurse. God bless you, honey. I cannot tell you how refreshing it is to hear your voices and stories every day. I leave work every day and think to myself, I need to hear the girls. The people I worked with felt that way.
I know. They're like, shut up.
We're literally at the desk and people are like, enough. Just enough.
Why are you both here?
You make me laugh and smile, and I feel connection on some of my darkest days. Well, I'm glad we can make you smile.
That's nice.
That's always my goal. I recently went back to your first episode, and I was laughing out loud about, I can barely read because I'm old, at the part about inappropriate things said in the OR, and it reminded me of a time I said to a female surgeon I was about to gon a glove, "Are you wet?" She said, how about just take a towel? I was so embarrassed. I don't ask anyone that anymore. I still ask.
I still ask them every time. You wet?
You wet? Yeah. And they, because it's just normal.
No.
One of my favorite episodes is the burnout one. It is so true, which is so unfortunate. I train a lot of new nurses, both in the scrub and circulating role, and I really try very hard to be supportive of them. I know it's a lot. However, like you said, sometimes I just want to get into their face and say, just fucking pay attention. I think I just said that the other day. It is so aggravating when all the surgeon wants is someone who cares. 100%. Yeah. I also love the 80s throwback episodes. Oh, we need to do another one of those because I did love that. Yeah. Remember the baby Jessica and the well story?
Yes.
I just watched that again the other day.
Picture it.
I was invested.
I was at my nanny's house. It was in the summer, obviously. We're sitting on the 3-season porch. JFK's pictures above the TV, and it was all over and we sat up all day and all night watching baby.
I kept walking to the kitchen. Is she out yet? Yeah. Is she out yet? How terrifying to be stuck in that fucking well.
It was so
For those who don't know, baby Jessica, she was like 18 months old.
I don't know. She was
in bumfuck Texas, and she fell into like this
well
that it was 400. It went to the core of the earth, and she was wedged in there. And they had like cameras down there, and you're talking like the 80s, so there wasn't the equipment they had today, and it took them like 3 days to dig her ass out of there. And I could still see the guy. He was on like some pulley shit, and she was boarded.
Yep, boarded. Yep.
She had like the wrapping around her head. She had to get like a ton of skin grafts and shit on her forehead because she was so wedged in there.
Oof.
And
Google it. Google baby Jessica.
And they drag her out, and everyone, like the whole world
cheering. Everybody was waiting with bated breath for this child to come out of this well.
Oh, who does remember baby Jessica? My neighbors and I used to play off the swing set in my yard. We made one girl lay on the ground, and we would throw a rope down the back of the slide. She would try and climb it, and we kept dropping her on purpose. 80s kids were assholes. What the fuck was wrong with us? Nothing. Just playing in the 80s.
They were playing Baby Jessica, probably. Right, Come on, Baby Jessica.
The whole world's watching.
Oh, not this time. We'll get you. She'll try again.
Psych. It's just like the fucking asshole on the other side of the seesaw. He'll give you a jawbreaker. All right. I was wondering if you could do an episode on trauma bonding. The entire podcast is based on trauma bonding. That's how Laura and I met. I am sure you both have felt this when you were in the shit of a horrible case at work with a bad outcome. You sort of bonded with that team you were with at the time when we made horrible jokes because I didn't know how else to deal with it, you know? I have had a terrible few months at work and no one outside of work seems to understand. I have a lot of friends who are not nurses, and they will never understand, I'm telling you that now, or medical in general, and they have no fucking clue what we do or what we deal with every day. When I explained to my sister-in-law something about wiping ass, she's like, you don't do that. And I looked at her and said, what do you think I do?
Right.
What do you think? People throw up on me. They urinate on me. I've dealt with shit, blood, brains, guts. What do you think I do every day? Right. Do you think I just sit behind a fucking computer and say, hey, how you doing? What's your ailment?
I think they do think that.
Like, what do you think I do?
I
know. Even my husband, who tries to understand, I understand that too because my husband tries, cannot stomach some of the things I have seen. I have taken to just getting home, opening the fridge and handing him a beer and saying, you don't have to understand. Just nod your head and pretend while I tell you all the shit that happened to me today.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could talk about the bonds nurses share with each other. My OR team has become my family away from home. I am also trying to go for my SANE nursing certificate, SANE. I too share a love for true crime and grew up on Law and Order Special Victims. Maybe you could touch upon what to do if you ever find yourself as a victim or have someone you love in that horrible situation. I have a niece going to college soon. I don't need to say much more. I apologize if my ideas seem dark. They don't. You're an OR nurse. No. I am actually a very happy and lighthearted person. That's what we tell everybody. If we worked together, we would have fun. Oh, I know we would. You're right up my alley. I just think the fact that I leave for work in the dark, work in the OR where there is no windows, sometimes operate in the dark, and go home in the dark is really fucking getting to me. Can you tell? Not at all. Anyway, thank you for the laughs and insight. You truly brighten my day, even through the long New England winter months. Keep it up, Boston strong. You ain't shitting, honey. So I laugh when you say about your husband because I work late, so I get home at like midnight. My husband has to get up at, as he likes to say, 5:45. And I'll come in the room and he'll be like, hey, how's it going? And I'll just say to him, buckle up. And he's like, okay. And I verbally vomit on him often. Yeah. He has no fucking idea what I'm talking about, but he supports me and he listens to me. Yeah. And that's usually after I've called Laura on the way home and said, are you up? And she just texts, yep. And then I verbally vomit on her.
And then I'm not even at work, but Nicole has verbally vomited on me. So then Mike's like, oh, what did she say? And I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then I tell him the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not even at work and I'm telling you all the problems at work.
It's just, we all understand where you're coming from. You can write to us anytime and we will share your misery because we have all been in that seat. Yeah. That's what some of the bars around Boston are for. You know, we go there after work and you just talk it out. I think I think a lot of our episodes we touch on, like, I think we say it a lot as people are probably sick of it, but like no one understands but us. Like we understand each other. You have to go out with each other outside of the OR. So you know, cause you're so bonded. Like there's no one like your teammates, your coworkers when it comes to that. I've wrapped bodies with Laura. I haven't done that with anybody else. No. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not proud of that. Yeah. But we've seen people in positions that nobody else in my life has seen me with. So it's all you can get. You do what you got to do to get through.
And it definitely bonds. Even to people, like there's people I've done terrible things with that I wouldn't ever be friends with outside. But
we had
I have that together with them and I will never
ever forget that.
Right.
You know, it's not an easy job. We've talked about this a million times. You see people at their worst, and many OR nurses, nobody remembers us. You know, we don't get the flowers and the chocolates and the thank you cards or anything else. I mean, we had one case. It was terrible. The OR worked phenomenal. The patients went up to the ICU. And I walked by the ICU like a year later. They had a fucking award for it. Everybody, look what they did. The OR, they thanked the ER. They thanked the ICU. Yep. They never said anything about the OR nurses who had it ready in seconds. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
To do the procedure they needed to live.
Right. Never a word said about the OR staff.
It's like we don't exist. Which is like we whatever. Don't exist.
We
know what we do, but no one else does.
Nobody else does.
So you're right. We are bonded.
Even when the nurses make memes, they never include the OR nurses.
No.
Okay, Laura. So your next email.
Hello, Laura and Nicole. I love y'all's podcast so much. I'm really new to it. I'm listening to the Bodies episode right now, which is my second episode.
I love those episodes. I love death.
But it's really fascinating and informative, so I'll be listening to more episodes in the near future. I do have a question for all... I can't even say it like she does. I do have a question for y'all as nurses. And a lot of it is rooted
That is not in our vocabulary.
It's so hard to say that. And a lot of it is rooted in the fact that I am a total klutz and drop everything sooner or later. So I have been seeing all of these signs and commercials, etc., saying only flush the 3 Ps. Pee, poop, and toilet paper. Which, where are you seeing these commercials?
Down south, because clearly they don't know what you're supposed to flush.
So, however, I wonder about the germs, viruses, bacteria, etc. Like if you accidentally drop something small in a public toilet or something, do those people who are saying to only flush the 3 Ps, who seem to all be like plumbers and sewer plants and such, expect us to retrieve it instead of flushing it? Aren't they like some potentially really dangerous germ risks from doing that? Also, one thing that has happened to me from time to time in public restrooms, I sometimes see small pieces of trash ranging from gum wrappers to one memorable time when I saw a wallet-sized picture in a toilet. Do these plumbers in sewage plant works expect me to fish that trash out instead of flushing it? I figure as nurses, y'all would be able to answer the questions about the germ risk from fishing stuff that we accidentally drop in the toilet or trash that other people leave unflushed in public toilets. Like, is that a big risk, please? Thank you again, your fan, Jen. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not fishing shit out of a toilet.
Top 10 things I'm never doing in a public restroom is putting my hands on the toilet.
I don't give a shit if there's
a human body in there. I'm not going in there.
Nope. I would call.
Yep.
Call
I'd tell the guy at the front, the fucking bouncer who barely let me in, hey, toilet's plugged.
Yeah. Hey, there's something in the toilet. You better get somebody else.
Yes, there is a bacteria risk because you don't know what else is in the toilet.
I wouldn't flush the toilet.
No.
Because I wouldn't.
But I ain't
that's
touching
going to clog the whole thing. But I am not fishing it.
And I don't know if I drop anything in there if I'm going after it either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what am I dropping? Is it a...
If it's my cell phone, I don't even know if I'm going after it.
I'm not even sure. I might buy a new one. If it's a wallet picture of my kids, absolutely not. Take it. It's fine.
That.
I'll get another one somewhere.
I get a lot of my phone.
Yeah. My ID...
I can get a new one.
I don't know. It depends on what the...
Look at all that stuff's on the internet. They know who I am.
Yeah. I'm like...
I'm not...
At work, people are like, oh, I just dropped my pager in the toilet and have it in their hand. And I'm like, you took it out? Like, no, I'd rather die.
Our fucking toilets, I don't know who uses them, but they're like goddamn biohazards.
Oh, they're just
the other day, you could smell whoever was backing one out through the 2 doors in the lounge. I came up and like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
No.
Mm-mm. What are you doing in there?
I don't know. It's
We're women.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of women in there.
It's terrible. But yes, there are potential...
Never going in the toilet.
Never
going in the toilet.
E. coli. That's why you always have to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, because just from wiping you can get these things. Never mind putting your hand in a dirty ass toilet bowl.
So I had to take 3 stupid teenage boys to this place today, and they're talking in the back of the car. And I don't know why my youngest son shared this story with his friends, because it's a story you don't share with friends, but he told them about how when he was like 8 months old, he ate his own shit, right?
Why would he tell this?
I don't, because he's not the smartest kid in the world, all right? I love my youngest son. He's a love, but he's not. I don't know why he told them that story. So, of course, the kids are like, so one of them's like, well, it was sterile. I'm like, oh, no, honey. Let's be clear. Urine is sterile.
Urine is sterile.
Shit is not sterile. That's why you can't touch it. It's got so much bacteria in it, a lot of which will kill you.
Right.
I said, your ureters and your kidneys are sterile, which is why if you were drowning you were dehydrated, you could drink your urine, which I would die first before drinking my urine. But you could reprocess your urine.
You would not get sick from it. Right.
But you do not want to eat your shit to survive because you will die. And they're all just looking at me. I'm like, are we clear? Nobody's eating feces.
Nobody's eating shit today.
Nobody's eating shit. It's never going to be sterile. And it's like the one thing you probably would never say to an OR nurse is, that's sterile.
Right.
No, it's not.
No.
If I know anything, I know sterility. I can't do anything else, but I know sterility. So I had to clarify why fecal matter is not sterile today.
No, it's full of germs. It's full of bacteria. It's full of disease.
Yes.
Do not touch it.
Yes.
If you drop something in the toilet, do not get it. Alert maintenance. Do not get it.
God knows.
Don't flush it, but don't get it.
I don't know what these people have that's ending up in that toilet. Just
every disease known to man is on I feel like has come from shit.
Yes. Yes.
Do you know, like
yes.
everything you can catch, it's in your feces.
Because shit also collects flies and fucking skeeters, and they all bite in. I don't know.
Don't go after it. Tell maintenance, don't go after it.
I have to say, Jess, that was one of the most random emails we've ever had.
Jen,
excuse me, Jen. Pardon, y'all.
Did I tell you that Jack did that to my friend Jen?
You called her Jess?
Uh-huh.
Is he dating a Jess?
No. He instead of like my other friend Jess. So Jen's leaving the house. He's like, "Bye, Jen. Thanks for coming over." And she's like, "Oh no, bye, Jess. Thanks for coming over." She's like, "Well, Jen." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like,
"Known her your whole life."
Oh my god! I'm like, he's literally known her his whole life. I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" She was not happy about it.
We did have a Jess earlier. That's why.
Yes.
But that was a very random email. But
and disgusting, and don't do it.
And disgusting, and don't. Top 10 list of things never to do. Put your hands in a public toilet.
Yeah.
Like your own toilet's one thing. You know who's
even then.
I wouldn't know, but
I'd put a glove.
I know what's in there.
You're calling me to do it.
I would call Mike to put a glove on to get whatever was in there.
But a public toilet?
No. Oh God, no.
No. All right. This is from Chelsea. She's finally writing in.
I thought you meant the city.
Yes, it's coming right out.
I was like,
straight out of Chelsea.
I was like, oh, it's
it's going to be about the Tobin Bridge.
It's going to be juicy.
So, her subject matter, finally writing in. Hi, Laura and Nicole. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Chelsea. I just want to start off by saying how much your show means to me. Oh, please do tell more. I have been a rad CT tech at a level 1 trauma center in Kansas. Jesus, I didn't know Kansas had level 1 trauma centers. For 10 years, I'm just kidding, Chelsea, really. For 10 years now, and listening to your podcast has helped me decompress after a long ship. Ship. I'm shipping off to Boston. A long shift. Or helped with some insomnia from thinking about something I saw at work more times than I can count. Mm-hmm. So thank you for not only what you do as RNs, but also for being a comedic outlet for the rest of us. Not everybody thinks I'm so funny.
Thank you.
Thank you both for your thank you to both your sons for their service as well. My husband is ex-military, and all of the servicemen and women hold a special place in my heart, as they do in mine. Mm-hmm. It was an ORRN who put me onto your show in late 2019. Oh, we got some old fans out there. I love it. And it didn't take me long to get caught up. I've been an avid listener ever since. Listen, I've had a Bloody Mary, so give me...
She's slurring a little bit.
I'm slurring a little bit. I'm not slurring. I'm thick-tongued. Some of my favorite episodes are this is the second one, the famous summer series, an episode where you talk about crazy things you've seen at work because they're so relatable. History episodes. I like the history episodes. Mm-hmm. And frankly, everything else. I spit my drink out from laughing so hard at the bloody nipple episode.
That was.
I'm still getting paid.
It makes me very
like
tender.
the thought. Like I'm right now.
Yeah, it makes you tender.
Hearing you two describe literally anything else you would rather do than run was freaking hilarious. We can keep going. I can gargle diarrhea, stick pins in my eyes. And I about died laughing at myself at the expeditions episode because when Laura said crevice, to me it sounded like crevasse. And I was like, what the fuck is a crevasse?
I think I did say crevasse.
Well, because there is a difference.
It's
a crevasse is much bigger.
Queen's English.
It's much bigger than a crevasse. It took me a minute to realize you were saying crevice. I love your accents, and if you heard mine, you probably wouldn't understand some words I say either. Think Texas Southern, but not as slow. We don't even know what Texas Southern means.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey, maybe? Hey, all right.
Oh, God.
I always think about writing in. I'm so glad I finally made myself sit down and do it. You deserve all the love. Thank you. I love it. All right. I also have a suggestion for future episodes. National Radiologic... Oh, I said that right. Technology Week is November 5th through 11th this year. You sure you want to wait that long, Chelsea? I know finding things to talk about in November is kind of tough sometimes. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. So I thought you two could discuss the importance of x-rays via C-arms in the operating room since you are OR nurses. Yeah. The history is also kind of cool if you're into physics. One thing I'm not into is physics.
I mean, we could try. I mean, I think
let's try to not make that dry.
As an episode, but I don't know how well we're going to explain physics.
I don't even know what physics is.
We can try.
We are crucial in the diagnosis of so many things. Yes. That is very true. A lot of our work is in the background, and some patients don't even realize we are part of their medical team too. Some of the surgeons don't realize it either.
Right.
Whether we're taking a post-op abdomen x-ray, running the C-arm for ortho to do an ORIF, which is you broke a bone, you're putting a plate in, or running the O-arm for a spine. The O-arm, oof, well, that's a whole nother ball of wax.
It's not even like everyone can do that.
No.
You have to call in a special person who can do
It's
that.
fucking huge.
Yeah.
A lot of surgeries wouldn't be possible without us. That is very true.
That's very true.
I love my profession and couldn't imagine doing anything else. And people don't realize too, like the x-ray techs and traumas and stuff, they're right there. They're seeing what we're seeing, and they don't get the support we do for seeing the same shit.
Yeah.
I love the patient care aspect, even though sometimes our patient interaction is less than 2 minutes it takes to do a chest x-ray. But the impact patients have on us and the impact we leave on them can stick with us forever.
Mm-hmm.
At our hospital, the OR nurses and scrubs and x-ray techs are besties. Same here. And I hope the techs that you've worked with are awesome too. If you do decide to talk about it and need more information or have any questions, I'd be delighted to help in any way. Again, I'm a huge fan, and I think of both of you as friends and mentors. Woof. Mentors, huh?
Issues.
I'll be a friend any day. I don't know if you don't want to listen to me, though. If you ever decide to take your show on the road, I've been wanting to do that for years.
God, Chelsea.
You'd have a huge turnout. We're going to Wichita, Laura. That's it. Fucking Wichita in August.
Yeah. No.
Fucking August. Not a tree to be seen.
Not happening.
Shout out to and thanks to Mike, for all you do for the show. I know you're doing your best to help the sound issue that everyone complains about. Oh, I thank you. All right. When we get paid for this, we'll buy better equipment. But until we get paid for this, this is what you get. All the best from a fellow cursing, tired medical professional, Chelsea. I love that email.
That's a very good
I love that you're in Wichita, Kansas. BTK. Boom. That's all I think about
God.
Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
Someday I'm getting my ass on the road and I'm dragging her with me. All right. I'm telling you, it's happening. I just need to have more emails saying there'll be a good turnout in other cities too. Okay. And maybe somebody promote us. Okay. You know anybody promoting us? Come on, send them our way. All right, what you got?
I do think that is a good. I think we should do Radiology Week in
and if you're willing
November.
to wait till November.
Well, she brought it. She knows it's November, so I think she'll wait.
I think that is a good idea. We have to put that on the list.
Yes. Check. All right, so I got the last one.
No, I got one more after you.
Oh yeah. Good morning, Laura and Nicole. I just wanted to reach out and say hello. I'm a nurse from Pennsylvania, and I found your podcast several months ago and have been hooked ever since.
Oh, thank you.
I truly feel like I'm sitting in your living room, and we are all just catching up and chatting. I do truly learn something every time. So do we.
Same.
One idea I have for you is fires in the healthcare setting. You could cover the hyperbaric oxygen chamber fire in Florida in 2009, which sounds terrifying.
Yep.
The chamber operator, oh Jesus, the chamber operator was in the bathroom leaving the grandmother and boy unattended.
Are you kidding me?
The chamber operator and medical director were convicted with manslaughter.
Ooh, this
Initially,
is gonna be a
there
good
was
one.
speculation that the boy had taken a toy car into the oxygen-rich environment that would self-propel and when pulled back, but this was not brought up in the case. There were several instances of neglect. There have also been fires in the equine chambers that were fatal to the horse and operator. I have attached an article discussing the Florida fire. I am happy to help with any research. I am a wound care HBO nurse who stepped away during the pandemic due to childcare, so I am home all day hanging out with a super cute 18-month-old, but it's terribly boring. I did want to include a fun story about a visually impaired patient I had in the HBOT chamber. I was a new young nurse and had to help this visually impaired gentleman change into 100% cotton scrubs. So she works in the hyperbaric chambers, which is highly flammable.
Why? Is it all oxygen rich?
So every day the patient would have. So that's why he's in these cotton scrubs. Every day the patient would happen to stick his hands out to grab my breasts or bottom, always quote unquote by mistake. Mm-hmm. As a new nurse, I just tried to bob and weave, but in hindsight, I should have just been more assertive. I would never put up with that now. When the male nurse had to help change the patient, miraculously, he never got felt up. Once he got the patient changed, the fun did not stop there. As the patient was in the chamber, he would touch himself.
Oh.
So you had explained daily that you could see him grabbing at his penis and ask him if he was okay, as seizures can happen in an environment that is 100% O2.
That's quite a seizure.
And remind him that he is in a clear chamber so everyone can see him touching himself. This went on until he eventually graduated from the program, but it was a miserable existence for a few weeks. I would say so.
That would suck.
I did want to say thank you for all that you do. I truly look forward to the podcast every other week. Keep up the amazing work, Lauren.
Well, Lauren? Congratulations on your little baby.
Yes. And I'm sorry you had to witness that and be groped. Oh. And that's disgusting and disturbing.
Yeah.
And I think that is an excellent idea about the healthcare setting fires. Especially, we work in the OR, which is a huge fire risk in itself. So that's a very good idea.
It's, it's so many parts of medicine you just don't even think about. The hyperbaric chamber.
I was going to say, even just not the fires, but the hyperbaric chamber could be an episode.
Talking about that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
What are we using that for?
Yeah. So thank you very much.
That was a great email. Listen, I say this every week and I mean it. The emails, they're like my life source. I love them. And you have given us some amazing ideas because it is hard. We sit down, we're going to talk about this week. What do we look and we're Googling and trying to figure out things. So you guys do give us some great ideas. Keep them coming, please, because as you see, we will wrap an episode around it and it helps. All right. So we're going to finish off with this. It's a Facebook post. Somebody made a comment and it's one of my favorites.
It's something.
One of my favorites. I just literally didn't even know what to say to this one. Because it's something I guess I never thought of in my pre-op report.
No,
all right.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not gonna ask this.
I'm never asking this, but you wouldn't want to aspirate this. Mm-mm. Okay, so my mom is an OR nurse, now retired. She was prepping a patient, so she didn't want to. Her mother didn't want to read this because she was too embarrassed. So
she didn't want to write it. She's okay with us reading it.
So the nurse, her daughter wrote it in. So she was prepping a patient for surgery. She asked if they had any food or drink after midnight, and the patient says, "Well, we had oral sex this morning. Does that count?" Of course, my mother asks, "Well, did you swallow?" And of course, the woman did. I mean, any good wife would swallow. And being as polite and straight-faced as she could, she states, "Well, you'll have to talk to anesthesia about that." So I read that to my husband, right? Who literally thinks about sex 24/7, but he's like, "What? What? Like you're going under the knife and you're like, hey, honey, can you just take care of this before you go in?"
Right.
Like, who's thinking of that before surgery?
I don't know. In what life goes,
okay.
Yeah.
What? No. I literally, I told this to people at work. We were dying laughing. And they're like, well, I don't know now.
I want to ask an anesthesiologist.
Well, that's coming. That's coming. Well, pardon the pun.
Oh, God.
Because, you would want to aspirate that.
But I mean, is it even enough?
Is it just like heavy spit? Like you just put a little...
Ugh. Oh, God.
Mike, you want to weigh in on this? It's just, I can't even imagine being the patient being like, "Oh yes, my husband."
I would take the risk of dying.
Yes, before I ever admit that.
Yeah. You know what? If that's how, I guess that's how I'll have to die. I was stupid to do this, and
Well, I had an OR nurse recently tell me it's not called judging somebody; it's called assessing.
Yes.
So I would be heavily assessing this woman.
I can't even fathom saying that.
So that was my favorite. All right, so that's your little filler episode. I don't know when this is coming out, but it's coming out soon. And again, keep the emails coming. We love them, we love them, we love them. Yes, and we love the ideas, and we love hearing that there's actually people listening to us, and it's just Laura and I sitting in a basement talking to each other with Mike holding a dog.
They say they're big fans. I can't get over it.
We've made it to Wichita, Kansas, Laura. Jesus, we got a huge following out there. I'm telling you.
Really can't believe it.
Road trip this summer. We get in the old, Highlander. Just
to Kansas.
To Kansas in August.
No.
Because that would be nice and cool.
That sounds terrible.
Wheat fields. Sounds a lot. Maybe there'll be some tornadoes.
Yeah, no thanks.
Imagine right in the middle, everybody get in the basement. Right in the middle of our performance.
Performance.
I don't know what the hell we would do on stage.
Yeah, that's exactly my question.
No fucking clue how this could ever go live.
No.
Anyway. For now, we're staying in the basement in Stoneham.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you. Just lovely here all here.
It's balmy, 50 degrees. It literally feels like spring after the negative 9 degree night the other day.
It was 40 today. It felt like a summer day.
Yeah, I literally was like, oh my God, I feel like spring's in the air.
I know.
So enjoy, be safe. Spring literally is around the corner now. Once we get through Valentine's Day and we get to St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is spring in my eyes.
Yes, we're almost there.
So keep them writing, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsandscrubs@gmail.com.